All right.
Ah,
Hey, hi. What's going on, man?
I'm hanging, man. What's going on with you?
Oh, nothing much. But first, I got to introduce what this show is called.
Yeah,
the name,
that would help.
they
That would
all
help.
right. Hey,
That would
welcome,
help.
welcome everybody to the first episode of Viewers Discretion is Advised.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Vashawn Q, or VQ. Riding with me today, man, is my main man, Fullee Love. What's going on, family?
I'm in there, man. I'm hanging in there. What's happening with you? Let's try to
Nah,
get
just
this done, boy. Let's see what it looks like.
took a million years, but we finally here. We finally
Yeah,
arrived.
yeah. We talked about this for
A good decade.
a long
Yeah, I
year.
see my man ain't got a gray beard over there.
Oh
So
yeah, man. You know, I got that grown man going on. It's either that or stress.
yes, but
Probably started both. A little
yeah,
bit of both.
but before when we was talking about it, you had black hair, but now here we are, you got gray, so that's a long ass time.
Yeah.
Oh man. So how's your weekend so far, man?
Good, man. I can't complain. I'm here, bro. So you know that. That's all I can say. How about yourself?
Oh man, can't complain either. Well, I can, but you
Yeah, but
ain't nobody give a
here
shit.
right now. Yeah, we ain't here. We talk to Oprah and them if you want to get to complaining.
No
Yeah,
doubt, no doubt, man. So let's get into it, man.
yeah.
We're gonna talk about the actually Netflix flick called The Harder They Fall, directed by Jeymes Samuels.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it is a black Western.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. An all black cast too.
Black cast. It wasn't one major white folk in it.
Star, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
It wasn't
right.
at all. So, you know, and I didn't miss them. No disrespect, but I didn't miss them. I didn't miss them. Yeah.
Right. So let's get into it, family.
Yeah.
So it was released November 3rd, which was a Wednesday.
Yeah.
But it had a theatrical run before that, right? So you went to
Yeah,
go
it did. Because that's where I saw that. I saw it at Cinemark 18.
Okay.
That was the old rave in the old Howard Hughes.
Oh, okay.
You know, yeah, that's off of what is that? Sepulveda. Yeah, kind of close to basically down the street from Fox Hills Mall or Westfields now, since they.
Oh, wow. I know. I heard.
Westfield, you know what I'm saying? I remember it as the Fox Hill, but it's all good. So I saw it there because I wanted to see it on big screen, you know, just to see what it looked like, you know.
Right.
And you know, I really enjoyed it. Me personally, I really enjoyed it, man.
Okay. Well, me being broke as I am, I decided to wait to Netflix.
Yeah. Hold on, though, because you still pay a month. No. You still pay a monthly fee.
Yeah, I know, but I wasn't gonna pay $15 for a ticket, and it's coming out next week. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna let that chill. But I did actually want to see it. I did want to see it. Right, I did want to see it on the big screen, but I'm like, well, you know, it's coming on Netflix, so I might as well check it out. But man, let's get into it, man. So we have here, let's see, talk about man. Basically, it's kind of I don't want to say run of the mill, but it's basically your typical Western.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't do anything. It wasn't like the Wild Bunch or nothing, but it was cool for what it was, being my man's real, and I mean the director, Jeymes Samuel, being his first real movie,
right? Because he did a little short film back in 2013. They Died by Dawn, which was Erykah Badu and what's my man's name? Jesse. What's my man's name? Jesse. Jesse.
Not Jesse West.
No, no, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't think of the one brother, man. But Michael K. Williams was in it. Yeah,
then I know he did
Rosario Dawson,
and I think he did Jay-Z's Legacy.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I think he did that as well. So it was good to see him with his first, you know, major. I must call it a major flick because I don't, you know, I wanted to see what he did. I thought he did good, but you know, let's talk on it. Let's speak on it.
Right. All right. So you want to get into the plot or fuck the plot?
No, I mean, I'm gonna follow your lead. However you want to do it.
So no, it's all good, family. But you know, you have. Let me see. I got my little notes here, man. But you basically have the main character played by Jonathan Majors, who's Nat Love.
Yeah.
You know, the film opens up, you know, as a young Nat Love is having dinner with his family, and there's a knock on the door, and you know, if you watch enough Westerns, when you having dinner, there's a knock on your door, don't answer the damn door. It ain't the Jehovah's Witness. Right. It's an assassin.
And the only thing I say, usually it's a knock on the door during either dusk or night.
Right.
So I was like, so you know when it's at night, you know it's some real, it's some real shit. And I just want to shout out to whoever cooked that chicken and the biscuits. Good. I was like, oh yeah, I was kind of upset they didn't get a chance to eat it. I just wanted to eat, you know, but yeah, that knock on the door ain't a good knock.
Yeah. When you get a knock on the door in the West, chances are your ass is grass. So So then we, you know, the killer, which, you know, spoiler alert, I don't want to spoil it just yet, but he's the main character that we're going to be seeing down the line. My man pulls out 2 Colt 45 gold pearl handle pistols and got busy. Stop playing. Shot the family, and then takes out the
razor.
Yeah, the razor, and marks Nat Love with a cross across his forehead, which, you know, is not good.
No, but you know what?
You knew was coming.
Yeah, and to find out the reason why he marked him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Later on, you know, he let you know the reason why he marked him. I was, you know, but once you find out for sure,
right.
I was like, okay. I said I seen it, but it was a cold scene.
Right.
It was a cold scene for him to start off like that, just because you know, that's very traumatic, bro.
Right.
Very traumatic.
Right.
So,
but you know, if you, like I said before, if you've seen enough of these Westerns, whether it's Once Upon a Time in the West or even Death Rides a Horse, you know, that is like a major trope.
Yeah.
You know, it's like family having dinner, the assassin comes in, is not good. And also, what was it? Good and the Bad and the Ugly.
Outlaw Jesse West. No, what it was, the Outlaw Josie Wales. Yeah,
Wales.
It's definitely, that is a theme that I don't think it's like a slasher, you know what I'm saying? It's like a slasher movie. It's just like if you in the woods, we gonna see some sex. You know what I'm saying? I could get murdered while you coming and going at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you know, it's to the point to where it's not even like it's cliche,
right?
But you kind of accept it until you see how the story unfolds, if that makes sense.
Right. It makes complete sense. Yeah. Makes complete sense. So then we have you know, my man grows up and he wants revenge, like James Brown said. I want revenge. Right. He wants revenge, and so he begins to hunt down. Well, he hunts down one gang member of there, played by the character's name is Jesus Cortez. Caps him off in the church.
Yeah, and you know what I thought was interesting about that? And it's just like so many. It's like nowadays, what was interesting about that is that my man, he goes, he kills him at church. My man he's basically like a priest, or not a priest, or whatever you want to call it. He has the situation on, but I'm laughing because I'm just like, but that's usually how it goes.
Right.
Like you go from outlawing
to find the Lord,
to outlawing under the banner of the Lord.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, so, but it's, you know, it's like pimping, you know, basically dudes be pimping and then they get a church. Right. It's just like, hey, I'm still in it because I know this money tax free.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or, you know, to give dude the benefit of the doubt, you know, he probably did have remorse, but at the end of the day, sometimes just because you have remorse don't mean that the person you did the dirt to don't feel sorry for you. You still got to get this work.
Yeah, because revenge don't have no expiration date.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My thing was too is when he came in, spoiler alert, when he came in and my man Nat was already in cahoots with, I guess, the real dude, because the real dude was high.
Right.
But when he walked in, he was like, hey man, you got them ends, and I was like, he like, I love the Lord, but what's happening with them ends, homie?
So in this case, he becomes a bounty hunter at this point, which is another trope. But also, too, what I like too is that there, a couple homages in there. Obviously, the director is inspired by many of the Italian westerns, but there's also too, when my man is wearing the black poncho and when he fires a pistol, how he's pointed up. You remember that movie with Fred Williamson called Joshua?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So you could tell that played a major influence, because even in that film, Fred Williamson's family or mom gets killed, and then it sets off the course of action where Fred Williamson wants revenge. So I like that little homage too to that film.
And so, then he goes in and he gives you a quick. No, I won't say quick, because it was. I think the beginning had more of a blatant Tarantino.
Right. Absolutely. Right.
Django Tarantino kind of style to it.
We won't touch on that in a bit, because you definitely see it.
Yeah.
And also too, and I have to, because it's so fresh in my mind right now too. You get to, I was calling this Guy Ritchie in the West, because even though it's a Western, it still feels kind of Londonish, set in the West. Even though majority of the actors and actresses are pretty much,
British,
London, British.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about in terms of its humor, even how it's cut, it feels like very Guy Ritchie, Tarantino, in addition to many of the spaghetti Western directors too. So then we have to be honest,
I think that's where he was going. I think that's where he was going.
I mean, it's like the film is like one big homage to
to everything. Hodgepodge of stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then we're introduced to, or better yet, we go to a scene where a robbery takes place, or the gang. Was it the gang called? Sorry, the Crimson Gang. Crimson Gang. They just finished robbing somebody, and so now we have Bill Pickett, played by, I'm going to call him Ronald Dacey, because I can't pronounce his brother's name.
Right.
Ronald Dacey, and then you have what's my man's name? Brother's name. Quickjaw. It's the Quickjaw cat.
RJ.
No, but RJ Seller is his name.
Yeah, but he played Jim. Was that
Jim Beckworth? Jim Beckworth. Yeah. Right. They end up robbing the Crimson Gang.
Right.
For $25,000 loot.
Wow.
And then Damon Wayans Jr.
Which was a surprise, but I dug.
Right.
I dug that.
You know what's funny though? For a second, I'm like, damn, not only does he look like Damon Wayans, but he also looked like Larry Graham. I was like, my God, okay.
Right. But no, right, I thought Wayans' part in it was real cool, because it was good to see him. When I want to see your chops.
Right.
When cats do it. So I know you can do the comedy thing. You've done that a countless amount of times. And I'm not saying it was a deep drama scenario with him, but it was good to see him not look for laughs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Within it. So I actually dug that. And it was just enough of him.
Right.
Just enough of him.
Right. So the loot is taken by Bill Pickett and Jim Beckworth. Yep. Now this money is tied to the major character or the main villain.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so how do you feel about these two actors, Jim Beckworth, actually RJ Seller, and the African brother whose name I can't pronounce, but I'm gonna call Ronald Dacey again.
Coming with my man RJ, I'm familiar with him with a couple of other little low key movies.
Right.
White Boy Rick. Yeah, White Boy Rick. I think me. What is the other one he was in? Me, so and so, and Daisy or something. You know, I've seen, you know, I hate to, you know, say it like that, but it was, like I said, it was, I thought he played his character very, very well.
Right.
I thought that, and I think, like I said before, because I posted something once I seen it, I don't think it was I think the casting in this was off the chain.
Right.
I think everybody played nobody mimicked anyone.
Right.
In this movie, everybody was their own character, and everybody you had your own sort of feeling for once you saw the movie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I thought they did an excellent job. I thought they did an excellent job.
I had a problem with just a little bit of the casting, just a little bit.
Like what? I gotta hear this. Like what? Like what?
We gonna get into him in a minute, man. We're gonna get to my man from Get Out in a second, but hold on for a second. I thought again, I'm gonna call Ronald Dacey. I thought he was excellent. Now, sometimes the brother who played Jim Beckworth tried to be a little too comedic at times. And I wouldn't, I know that's what his character was supposed to be. It kind of reminded me how Leonardo DiCaprio was in The Quick and the Dead, just, you know, shit talking. This particular time, I was like, you know, I'm not buying the jokes. I'm like, brother, just shoot that cannon and keep it pushing, because the jokes weren't working.
But the thing for me is that, let's keep it 100.
Right.
It's how young folks are.
That's how young folks are. I understand that's how folks are. And there's young folks. Young folks. There's a lot of you want to prove. I'm just saying, for me, my man didn't sell it. It was just like, he's not selling it to me, man. I was just like, bruh, okay. There now, I don't want to touch on it right now, but fuck it. It is what it is, because we're going to be meeting Lilith Satterfield. Hope I pronounced that brother's name right. I thought some of his performance was good, and sometimes it was a little okay. Now, one performance that shocked me, though, of all people, the motherfucker Dion Cole. For that little bit, I was like, damn, he's actually pretty
good. No, hey, homie, that's real talk. That's real talk, because he was very convincing.
Yeah.
Very, even all the way down to his voice.
Right.
The way he was making his voice, I thought it was very convincing. I thought he was real. And with him being a comedian,
right,
nothing was funny.
Right.
He was straight on.
Well, but it was kind of funny because, you know, he plays Wiley Esco, who's kind of like this mayor of the town, but he's convinced himself he's this big dog, and he's sitting there eating steak and doing all that, and you see he's just talking to himself the whole time.
But my thing is, a lot of folks do that. That's why I did laugh at that part. That was the funniest part.
Excellent, right? Excellent. I thought that part was great. How you feel about Jonathan Majors, man, as Dad Love?
Well, you know what? It took me a little getting used to him as a whole, just as an actor, seeing some other stuff. I really kind of got into him more, like, say, for instance, when I seen Lovecraft Country, I was kind of like, why this dude? You know what I'm saying? You know, I was kind of like, why this dude? But after watching a few episodes, I was like, okay, he's not that bad.
Right.
I think you could have maybe pulled somebody else in.
Right.
I thought he had exactly what it took to make you actually feel for Nat Love.
Right.
I thought, you know, and that's a lot of times, you know, when for me, when I see actors, it's just like, yeah, I know you could have got a whole lot of people, because especially when you're just bringing it to the public, we don't know who's cast if we don't read about it. So I was just like, could you connect? And I think he did enough to where I could actually connect with him. And understand his plight, if that make, you know.
No, it makes perfect sense. I you know, like dude ever since I seen him in White Boy Rick. But one thing though about his performance is it's good. I'm not knocking it. But I think sometimes I had to throw the subtitles on a little bit, because my man was mumbling a little like, yeah, I was like, he talked to his brothers talking through his teeth. I'm like, okay, hold on for a second. Let me throw that subtitle on for a second. And it can't be the volume because it was loud.
See, I mean, when you trying to really see this movie, you was looking for the cons and everything.
No. Hey, no, I'm not looking for the cons, family. I like I said before, I was really hyped to see this movie. Like, I remember when the trailer dropped, I was like, yo, this is gonna be the flick. And I think the film, it was entertaining. I think it suffered from really pacing to a certain degree. It was like, okay, you got 2 hours and 19 minutes. And then there was a moment where it kind of just went on cruise control. I'm like, yo, we kind of need to pick this up because you know where this is going. You know that the conflict between Nat Love and then Idris Elba's, pardon me, are going to meet and do battle. And so it's like, yo, man, let's kind of cut the fat out of this and let's get busy. This movie could have been really 93 minutes, or even hour and 45 minutes.
But you know what? That's what I didn't have a problem with the movie because I did feel like they let you kind of they showed the human element,
right?
In my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The relationship between Trudy,
right,
and Rufus,
right,
where you really didn't know what it was.
Right.
It was a motherly thing. It could also have been a wife kind of thing.
Right.
The one part where she walk in when he first get back to Redwood, and she walk in, and my man got his shirt hanging.
Right.
And he kind of do this, and she have to kind of like, let me tuck it in. He take and do it. He put his head on it. I like that. I like that. I like that part. I like that you got to see everybody's vulnerability within this. From all the way from Nat to Trudy. And the only one who you really didn't see too much was Bass.
Yeah.
His Bass was just,
he was here and there.
He was I'm here. You don't need to know my story. I'm the sheriff. I'm the marshal. That's what it is. So, but I did like that. But I get what you're saying as far as it. But I think that was the part of it, and especially like when Nat was going, he was singing to Stagecoach Mary, and I was like, yeah. Homie, I ain't really trying to see no concert. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at it to see, because this is how I do it too.
Right.
I see, like Black directors come out and see their movies, man. I look at it like the first time I seen She's Gotta Have It. Mm-hmm. I said, Spike gonna get another movie.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So when I look at Black directors now, I'm sitting around here looking like, are they gonna be something to reckon with?
Right.
They're gonna have something, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of looking at it like that.
Yeah, okay. What else? How did you feel about, speaking of Bass Reeves, because we're introduced to two other characters later in the movie, very important. You have Stagecoach Mary, or excuse me, Mary Fields, or her name is Stagecoach Mary, right?
Yeah. They call it Stagecoach Mary.
And Bass Reeves.
Yeah.
Stagecoach Mary is played by, I hope I'm pronouncing this sister's name. Is it Zaza Beetz?
Yeah, that's what, because that's what I call it.
Okay.
I call it.
Now, there's been a lot of controversy about her portraying Stagecoach Mary. Right. Well, bruh, it's a whole host of reasons, but one of them.
No, give me the
okay. The colorism.
I know.
That's coming. You knew it was coming.
You know what?
You knew it was coming, family. You knew it was coming.
I knew it was coming.
Right.
But the thing is, too, however, I was surprised. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
She was basically the lightest person in
right.
I was kind of surprised at that they didn't bring 3 more or 4 more light-skinned people. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, if I would say anybody was out of place,
right,
I would say her. But I still think she did cool.
Yeah.
But I think they may have gotten a different Stagecoach Mary.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah, because I mean, you know, we got Holly 2 in the West, Holly Berry 2, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, so I can see that. I can see that. No, I can see that.
Now I could see, hell, I could even see Regina King in that role. Personally.
Yeah.
Or someone of that caliber. To bring that heat.
I feel
you know what I'm saying? So so now let's get to Delroy Lindo, because we're introduced to his character. He plays Bass Reeves, who's ends up partnering up with Nat Love.
Yeah.
And so played by Delroy Lindo. And this brother been in everything.
Been in every, but let me tell you though, Delroy had him and Regina King had the best lines.
Right.
The whole movie to me.
Right.
But the thing is too is I'm glad personally to see Delroy in this, because I'm gonna just be honest with you, fam. I was not feeling him.
Right.
And was it the Five Bloods, the blood? Wasn't feeling it. Wasn't feeling that.
Oh man,
going
you
crazy. Going crazy. Like I'm just like, come on, OG. I'm like, you've been through this before, my nigga. I'm just like, why you tripping like this? Yeah, I was just like,
you bugging. You tripping on exactly. I think you was looking at the cons in that movie.
Yeah, no, I'm sitting here looking at like, really, my dude. I'm like, you really wilding like this, dude. I'm just like, come on, OG. I'm just like, come on, OG. I'm like, man, it's because I'm saying it's what is it? It's 4 other dudes.
Right.
4 other, and I'm just like, I'm going on the real. I try to put it in a real perspective. It's like if it's 4 or 5 of us and something go wrong, and I know my man basically felt like he was to blame for my boy dying.
Right.
Just like, damn, these the other brothers ain't. They was there too. They ain't comforting and still. I'm like, come on, OJ. So he was wilding in that. So I was good to see. It was for me. Right. I wasn't feeling him in that one, but I swear to God.
Okay, I tell you what, we're gonna save the Five Bloods for another podcast episode.
Right.
We got to definitely touch on that one. But Delroy Lindo, man, he's an actor that, if given the right material, man, he definitely delivers. I mean, Rodney Little knocks out the park. West Indian Archie, knocks out the park.
Yeah.
This movie, he didn't knock it out the park. I thought he was serviceable. I thought he was okay. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't have a problem with, well, I guess I did have a problem with him because he was, to me, he was not used enough. I mean, because Bass Reeves is, a Western legend.
Yeah.
So to have him just reduced down to popping in and out throughout the film was like, then, was he necessary? I would have loved to have seen if Nat Love and him just paired up on a revenge thing. That would have been one thing. Or he could have been even a great villain.
Yeah, but I think that's what it started off with, Nat and him pairing together until Nat's crew came and was like, "Hey, homie, nobody fell for that." You know what I'm saying? But I think the pairing was about to happen. For me, I looked at Delroy as kind of like what he was, seasoned dude.
Right.
It was the voice of reason, and that was the truth speaker.
Right.
Out of all that, because when my man was doing the guns, and he was just like, "Hey, bro," he said, "Man, all them tricks,
ain't gonna
kill." And then
what's gonna happen.
Right. He's like, all them tricks gonna get you killed, OG. And then in another part of it, that same scene, he was just like, "What you think?" And he was like, "Man, I think y'all gonna get yourself killed." Because it's just like we dealing with some real live shit right now. So I didn't I thought Delroy was kind of like, he kind of put me in the mind of like, how your daddy or your older uncle would be. You know what I'm saying? And just giving you the real, and to be honest, it was Nat's story, but Nat needed, after Nat daddy passed,
he
had no father figure. I thought Delroy was more like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
His father figure.
Exactly. So let's get into so then we had the bank heist scene, or the train heist scene.
Yeah. Because that was, I don't say it's a major part, but it sets the precedence
for what
of you never hearing that word.
Right.
You know.
Right. Did you see? Did you see was the name of the train?
No, I didn't see that. I wasn't paying attention to the name of the train.
It was C.A. Bozeman, Chadwick Boseman.
Oh yeah, Chadwick. Yeah.
Rest in peace, brother. Right.
Yeah.
Little side note, man. Did you know originally Wesley Snipes was cast in this movie?
As who?
Did he never say?
I would have liked that.
He had to back out due to the pandemic shit.
Yeah, I would have liked that.
Yeah, I thought he would have been perfect.
Yeah, he would have been perfect. He would have been perfect. Yes, he would have been.
Okay, so we get to the train scene, and so we have Regina King as Trudy Smith, and her married men of murderers waiting for this train to arrive. And so we find out that in the train is Rufus Buck, played by Idris Elba.
Yeah, they transporting him. Yeah,
transporting him. So, what do you think about that scene, fam? I mean,
in the whole, two reasons, and I don't want to. I'm not gonna do that, but I'm not gonna. But I dug it for my main reason for liking it.
Right.
Is them coming and going. Did you ever think? Did it ever occur to you?
Right.
Why we here? Why we here doing it to the cats who was guarding? It's like, did it ever occur to you?
Right.
My man, like, no, and then they like, homie, you so nasty. The government don't want you. And I just thought that was a cold thing because that happened a lot back then. It was like, nigga, we finna pardon a known killer, outlaw.
Right.
Get rid of you. And my thing is too, is like, it's just, for me, I also look at it as like the game of chess, being pawns in the game for the upper echelon, the elite.
Right.
It's just a cold game, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just a cold game because I'm just like, that was my favorite part. And I could deal, I dug everything. I dug another part is when they just knew everything, and when he was finna hand the keys to Truth, and Truth looked at him like, "Hey, homie,
no, yeah,
you the boy."
Right.
So it's like, no, don't let the skin color fool you, because right now and it's just kind of like,
and most importantly, they got the drop on because all the pieces already Roscoe's already pointed out, so they can't really draw.
They ain't. But what the thing is, even when they did, and they grabbed his son, but that's another thing too. And I also looked at it like it's kind of like having still benefiting off of kind of like off of slavery. I'm trying to see if I can make it make sense. Meaning that this dude was doing it. He's the lieutenant of the goddamn law. You know what I mean? And my thing is, and I'm like, you look, and he got his son, who's going to continue that behavior, You know, so I was just like, yeah, it was just wild to me, man. I dug it, man. I dug it. And at the end, and it was just like when he finally got out, and he was like, who know how to drive a train? And it was like, the young boy did.
Yeah. We don't need the rest. Boom.
So but don't they do that? Don't they do that? Don't they do? It's almost like you can't like two niggas at the same time. So you know what I'm saying? You know, because go ahead though, man. I don't want to get
it's all good, baby. All good. But okay, here's the thing about I hope I'm pronouncing this brother's name right. Is it Lakeith?
Because I thought it was Lakeith. I always call him because that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Satterfield. Yeah. Again, this some of his performance was shaky. I know he wants to be this menacing gunfighter, but then there was other times where I kind of felt like one of them dudes could have just went, pop, knocked that gun out of his hand. Mm-hmm. I'm like, not taking him seriously, but okay. Mm-hmm. How did you feel about his character as Cherokee Bill?
But this is my thing, because I think we on a good cop, bad cop thing right now.
Right. Yeah, you the bad cop, obviously.
But I didn't have a problem. You know, like I said, I didn't have a problem with his performance. You know, I only thing what I liked about what it was is that I'm looking at it like I see him a lot in this. I see that type of dude a lot. I see, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He's never stepped out of his actor comfort zone.
Yeah. I haven't. I mean, even when he did the joint with Fred Hampton, it's just like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It kind of falls into that for me. So it wasn't a stretch, and for what they needed him for, what he was portraying, I thought he was cool.
Right.
I thought he was cool. Also, too, in the same vein, is that another reason I say he's like a lot of people are saying, because come to find out, he had more conversation. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying he didn't back up his talk, but he backed up his talk like a snake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shoot motherfuckers in the back.
Exactly. Yeah. Having them count to 5 and you shooting them at 3. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you know what I'm saying? So I was just
5.
always telling you to count. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I was like, and that was the thing too. I said he like a lot of cats that I see. And that's one thing about this movie too, because it had a lot of today's traits.
Right.
People kind of conduct themselves.
Maybe, and that's another thing too I wanted to kind of touch on, which I really didn't. It was like you're trying to pass 2021 off in 19th century West. And it was like,
that feeling? Did you get that feeling?
Okay, I get it, but
so you got that feeling as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's okay. So he was on point with that.
And I knew that was going to happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew they were going to try to bring a lot of issues from today
what I'm noticing too, a lot of movies what this was considered black movies they're having some kind of vibe with gentrification in it.
Candyman.
And even for me with this I would have liked to see what Rufus was trying to do with Redwood.
Right.
But it still had that kind of, we're going to build a Mecca. And it was just kind of like.
Afterthought.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of, because then with the scene, I'm jumping the gun, but Maysville.
Right.
When they went to go rob the thing. And then I like that part because I was like, oh, AKA mayonnaise.
Right.
Everything was white. And it's like, you know, and I thought, okay, well, what was Redwood? What was he trying to do with Redwood to make it the new Mecca? I just wanted to see kind of a little bit more of that. Okay, but go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, and then also too, you know, he was taxing his own people for what $50,000.
Yeah, $50,000. Yeah.
It was like, you know, you have these black cowboy movies, and most of these people depends on who you talking to. Some may consider heroes or outlaws, right? But it was like, why we got to be the villain?
Within
right.
And see, and I'm gonna tell you too, and that's why I was saying about the vulnerability, because when you later find out what Rufus' situation was,
right,
and you was like, okay, I feel that. I understand that. To a certain extent. But at the same time, I'm like, when my man came and he was like, man, I ain't paying you nothing.
Right. You're right.
And my man was like, I got a family.
Right.
And I was just like, damn, you building a Mecca for the people, but If they ain't riding with you, that's what you do to them.
Right. And honestly, I may be wrong. I'm not claiming to be a historian here, but I don't think we'll do that.
I don't think.
Yeah, I think that's where Jeymes Samuels is trying to, like, I don't want these people at Netflix mad at me while they paying.
that part of it
that part didn't make sense to me.
Because I was just like, man, you building it up for the people.
Yeah.
You take away somebody's father.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I'm saying? I thought that was weird.
Yeah, and plus, a lot of people probably don't want to touch on, making white people the villain. And I'm saying you should go there if you need me.
Because it was, I see that.
So moving on.
This turned into some UEP.
Everyone who know me know I ran enough. So, where are we at, man? So, well, the key moments we could talk about here. Let's get into the action, man.
Okay.
How do you feel about the action set piece?
I loved it because it was rough enough. It was bloody. It was gory enough. That's what I like.
Right. I thought the staging could be somewhat better.
Meaning in what way?
Meaning is at times it was a little too choppy. You know what I mean? It could have been a little longer. Let us see the environment, who's doing what, being pulled. Sometimes it's like, it's like, I don't want music video style action.
I can say that.
If you're doing Leone, master, close up, master, not the, every time someone gets shot, it's like, freeze it, freeze it, it's like, you don't need to do all that. But I thought the finale gunfight scene was actually done pretty well. You know what I mean? Yeah, I thought the finale was done well. Little little not exactly climactic as I would like it to have been. I thought it was kind of like between, this long journey between Nat Love and Rufus Buck. I thought they was gonna go mano and mano, and it was just like, oh, what? My man getting ready to cry. Like,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so he cries a little bit, and so, sorry, y'all. Spoiler alert. You haven't seen it. They get into this little. Oh, by the way, I did this to you, which I will not reveal. But it's just like, yo, man, if you're using all these tropes, just go ahead and get it on. Two cats in the middle of the street, straps pulled. Let's see who goes out. But it was just like, oh my God, man.
No, I feel you on that. Because my thing is, if the way it ended, I could have felt like if that was the case,
right,
homie, you could have probably died 5 scenes ago.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's my thing. My thing is because I don't want to, but I was just like, man, where is the fight?
Right.
I said, I heard monologue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I'm glad to know your situation, but it was just like, but that was the end of the. That's what I did. Because I'm like, you're trying to build up the city. You went out and you whooped Wiley's ass. Keep out his mouth. You know what I'm saying? And then for it to end, like, for you to kind of be is non so passive with that. That shit was weird to me.
Yeah.
That shit was kind of weird to me. Because I was just like, bro, so what was your intentions?
Right.
What was your intentions?
Right.
Because I knew what your intentions was in the beginning of the movie.
Right.
You made that perfectly clear.
Right.
I'm going through the movie and I'm saying, okay, you making it clear what your intention. I'm thinking that's what you're doing. But then get to the end and I'm just like, bro, you caused a lot of havoc.
Right.
You killed a lot of motherfuckers in this.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that ending was so not.
It was
like, yo, man, you dropped the ball, so that got a strike for me there.
Brother. Yeah, no, I'm with you. That was a con for me. That was,
okay. Let's get into it, fam. Now, we know Jeymes Samuels is a musician, and there's been a lot of talk about, he's always stated that he's composed the music. personally, I didn't hear a main theme that he composed, but what I did hear was a gang of reggae. That he, how do you feel about that, family?
I look, hey, I don't like reggae music.
Oh, me neither.
I'm gonna just be the 100. I hear people jamming to that shit. I'll be like, hey, OG. I'll be like, I'll be like, man, I don't like what emotion. I'm like, is it the wording? You know what I'm saying? Like, but don't get me wrong. There's some reggae joints that'll come through every now and then, and I'll be like, that's slick.
Right. And 9 times out of 10, it's the shit that's been sampled that you fucking with.
You play Sister Nancy.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, yeah. But like you said, that's a known fact, homie. I didn't heard that stuff I actually like. So when I hear it, the original, I'm already loving it. Cause you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was too much reggae for me.
Yeah, bro, too much, bro. Too much. And you know, to the point where it was kind of taking me out a little bit. It was like, this is where I said that this is not a Western, this is a Londoner. This is like I'm watching, you know, I don't know if you're familiar with this filmmaker, but there's a gentleman by the name of Alex Cox. He did a film called Straight to Hell.
Yeah.
Man, this kind of fits into like
that mode
vein of filmmaking, where he's, you know, taking genres, but then mixing in modern day music and things like that, right? So it was, for me personally, I don't want any modern day music in a period piece. I do not. I don't like it in Godfather Harlem.
Right.
You know, I didn't like it in Django Unchained. I don't want to hear Tupac in the middle of a gunfight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get
it up.
I know what you're doing, but it's like I didn't, you know, much respect.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, but I want, you know, a composed score, you know, in the film.
Right.
You know, and so he goes, yeah, you know, I composed the film. I'm saying, like, yo, I didn't hear the music. I heard reggae, but not your score.
It sound like you play shit you like.
That is.
Like if it was they asked me to do it and they walk in, they finna have a gunfight and I play Let's Get It On. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, I like that song too, homie, but that don't fit right now. So
I mean, you basically playing your Spotify list.
That's all you do.
You do it.
That's all. I'm with you on that. I wasn't feeling that reggae, homie. I don't want to hear no reggae in no movie unless it's a reggae movie. You know what I'm saying? If Jimmy Cliff come back or some shit, I'll be like, yeah, I'm with it. But
again, that goes into, you know, The Harder They Come. Jimmy Cliff, right? So you could say this is kind of a nod to that film as well. You know, so it was distracting, fam.
I agree with you on that.
Now, if it's, I don't sound like I'm contradicting myself here, but if it's done right, I don't know how. If you just, but even still, it's like
it gotta be a quick nod.
Quick nod.
Like the Chadwick Boseman train.
Nod, right. Just
it gotta be like that and keep moving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you know, it gotta be like that. But yeah, it was reggae too. I'm with you. It was way too much reggae, homie. Way too much. I feel you, fam. You ain't gonna get no argument out of me with that shit.
All in all, man. But overall, man, because so what you think about the film, man? Would you, you know, what would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 4, man? What would you do, family?
I'm giving that shit about a 3.5.
Okay.
Giving it about a 3.5 because see, this is I dig movies.
Right.
The thing about it, sometimes I hear other people and they dove deep in this shit.
Right.
And I'm like, that's cool too. But I usually it's like music for me. I see it and I may dig it and then I gotta watch it again.
Right.
Then that's how, you know what I'm saying? I kind of do it like that. But my thing is too, is I like I like the cast that they brought in. I do like because there's some people I know, some people I'm not too familiar with, and I all thought that they flowed together.
Right.
Like I said, there's only really one person I could say that really looked out of place to me.
Right.
But I'll take that. I like the fact that I like seeing Jay-Z and it's not a Jay-Z thing, but I like that he put his name behind something like this. I like that it had a lot of color in it. Meaning,
also,
go ahead.
Let me before.
No, go ahead. Go.
I'm glad you brought that up. Jeymes Samuel, who also a black man too, produced this. That's Will Smith's guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Was also behind this movie, and also too, who also produces, because we talk about how this film kind of feels Django Unchained-ish.
Yeah.
Lawrence Bender, that's Quentin's guy.
Yeah.
So so it's still part of that Quentin universe, if you will. But go ahead. No, take it.
And I think, look, maybe this next go around, his next piece will have more of maybe more of him.
Right.
As far as the director is concerned,
right.
Maybe have more of him. But I also feel this being his outing, I think they had to make sure they didn't stray too far.
Right.
Now I don't know if that's for whatever reasons, but I think it was kind of like to not alienate the regular, because everybody ain't gonna look at movies like you'll look at them or I'll look at them.
Right.
Regular niggas like, did they shoot? Did they die? Okay. They had some reggae in it. Your favorite, like, did they have reggae in it?
Yeah, some reggae. Yeah.
So and my thing is too is like I thought it was cool with it being the first outing. The nigga didn't make Soul Plane.
Oh God.
So, what I'm saying? So, or Fat Beach or what I'm saying?
Those are cinematic classics, man. What are you talking about?
So it's like all in all, it's a 3.5. I may be a little generous, but at the same time, I thought for my man's first real big turn,
right?
He has some some loose ends to it, but I thought all in all,
right,
I could see it. I could see this. I could see it.
Right. Well, for me, man, I guess I'm bad cop again. I'm gonna give it I'm gonna be fair, man. I'm gonna give it 2.5 out of 4, man.
Okay.
I see potential. I think he has great ideas. I think my man knows how to shoot. I just thought some of the performances were kind of iffy. I think Delroy was not used enough. And I had a real problem with the pacing of the movie too. I kind of felt like, we know this where this film is going. Right. You should have just got to the point a lot quicker. Because it was one point, like I said before, man, it hit a stride and it kind of just goes off into, cruise control. And I'm like, look, man, you guys need to speed it up a little bit. Cause we know, like I said before, we all know where this film is going. Believe it or not, I do recommend seeing it.
Yeah,
do I think down the line can I compare this to other Westerns as being classic? Not yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me tell you something, because a lot of people say, well, there's not a lot of Westerns to compare to. But what I was hoping for, at least tonally, do you remember what's the film, The Book of Eli?
Yeah.
With Denzel. That is probably one of my favorite post-apocalyptic Westerns in a long time. The tone of that movie is Denzel got busy. He ain't fucking around. That whole thing felt like, oh shit.
Right.
Denzel is the man.
Right.
Everyone in there, you felt like look bad, tough, scarred, ain't bullshit. And it was directed by 2 brothers, the Hughes brothers.
Right.
So I was hoping like it would be totally this can fuck with Tombstone, but instead it didn't. And so I was a little let down. So all in all, man, 2.5. I think you should see it. As young people say, do it for the culture.
Do it for the culture, right? But this, let me ask you this last thing. I know we're doing it, but let me ask you this last, because I want to say this.
Right.
They set it up.
Right.
To where it's a sequel.
Right.
Like it could be a sequel.
Right.
What you feel about that? If it's just a big if, but they did set it up like it was a sequel.
Knowing Netflix, they probably will pull a sequel out.
Now, do you think? My thing is this: if it is a sequel,
right,
I don't want to see a continuation of this because this was done.
Right.
If you're gonna do a sequel, I want to see the person at the end. No spoiler alert.
Right.
Who you see.
Right.
I would like to see their story to maybe how they got to Harder They Fall. But I don't want to see you after Harder They Fall because my thing is that story pretty much ended.
Right. Well, okay, let me take my statement back. First of all, if they make a sequel, cool. But at this point, like I said before, I'm not like in a rush to see whether or not they make a sequel. You know what I'm saying? Like Django Unchained, if they ever did it, I would see a sequel. If they ever decide to do it. Even if they did like even the Book of Eli show, I would want to see it. This movie, not so much. If they make a sequel, I'm like, if they do, they do it, or they don't, they don't. I'm not going to lose sleep whether or not they don't. But all in all, I think that it's a cool effort on Jeymes Samuel's.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing what he makes next.
Right.
But this was cool. This was cool. Not great like I was hoping, but cool.
I thought it was cool.
But, however, before we go, we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. But before we go, those of you who are interested in seeing Black people in Westerns, there's The Buck and the Preacher.
Yeah.
There's Joshua with Fred Williamson.
Yeah.
There's another movie about Bass Reeves right now that's on Prime Amazon called Hell on the Border. Mm-hmm. There's Thomasine and Bushrod.
That's my joint.
There's what's the movie with Bill Cosby? Yeah, we talking about Bill Cosby.
Not Sounder.
Man and Boy.
Man and Boy,
which is good. Hell, I'll even put The Book of Eli as a post-apocalyptic futuristic Western in there. Well, I'm trying to think of another one. I'll throw Posse in there.
But if that's okay, we can. If you want to see one too of a strong Black situation,
right?
Boss Nigger, Fred Williams.
Yeah. And the Legend of Nigga Charlie. Which may be hard to find. But ask for it by name. Hey man, y'all got that. Now if you make it out the video store asking for that name, but you bet a lot right there.
Go tell your wife want me to ask for
it. Yeah. Go in there and get it for me, man. But so I don't want people thinking that, oh man, not you so much, Fullee Love, but me in particular, think, oh, you shit on a Black Western. No, absolutely not, man. I gave you about 7-8 movies of Black Western that are awesome.
Yeah,
that are the shit.
And at the end of the day, you're not saying it bad, but I'm glad you made that disclaimer because people are gonna see it a whole different way. But I just we thought it was cool for different reasons, but the end all be all is that it is I wouldn't, like you said, you would recommend it. I would recommend it, and then from there you can go on with your own thought, but see it. Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Right. Brother, thank you. Hey man, got it in the can, family.
I don't care what nobody got to say about it, man. We know what it took to just all the conversations we did have.
Man, brother, we didn't have some long ones, man. But as always, man, listen, you can find the podcast again. Viewer discretion is advised. That's where the IZ is. IZ, Spotify, you name it. All the major platforms you can find the podcast. Man, please follow, and we'll be. But don't go just yet, Fullee. I need to talk to you off camera.
Okay.
But yeah, man, tune in again next week. We'll have another episode. I don't know what the film's going to be, but trust me, man, it's going to be exciting, and it's definitely going to be Black. is a black movie, because that's what we do here. We go honor our black movies and filmmakers here. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, man. Thank you, Fullee.
Yo doubt.
Peace. Hold on.